Hey, it's Soul. It is August 31st, 2018. This is Warcraft Weekly, and today's episode is brought to you by Andrew Miner Security. Feeling unsafe? Call Andrew Miner. Feeling unsafe? That's probably him watching you. And damn, my hair is crazy today. Bob, unfortunately, is kind of out for the week. Apparently, after filming last week's episode, we discovered that, yes, Bob does in fact rest in salt water. Thankfully, while drinking himself stupid under the deep blue sea, he was not in fact taken over by the old cod. Kill me. But the actual reason, and I'm just gonna be real for like just a second or so, is that today it's just a bad day. There's just sometimes you just have a bad day, right? This happens to be one of them, and I'm keeping my spirits up. Thankfully last night there was a really cool picture that someone had sent to me, a bit of fan art, and I think that is, that is like the first piece of fan art that someone has ever sent me. So that really brought me up. So I'm really grateful to that person. I'm not going to call them out. I don't want them to embarrass themselves just in case. But thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And if you could, I'm going to selfishly ask, can you send some good vibes this way? I'd really appreciate it. And also, as a reminder, I still have that contest going where you have a chance to pick up 1 or 2 BlizzCon benefit dinner tickets. All you gotta do is send an email to soulsoulbreezy@gmail.com with the subject line BlizzCon and let me know, in a creative way as you can think of, why you think you should get these tickets. The contest ends September 3rd, 11 o'clock p.m. Pacific time. So if you or anyone you know is dying to go to BlizzCon, let them know, send them my way, and we'll see what we can get going. So let's get to some new stuff, starting with another reminder that next week, we're gonna get more content, more things to do in the battle for Azeroth. Like a bunch of puppies trying to escape from their cage and get to that sweet, sweet treatness, the season of WoW will open up. First off, the PvP season opens up, including the chance to build Conquest over the week so that you can get some sweet, sweet gears. Or transmog. It's the transmog for me. Warfronts are going to open up with the battle for Stromgarde. Alliance are going to be picking up this first. They'll be defending Stromgarde Keep from the evil, nasty Horde people. Meanwhile, us Horde players are going to be gathering resources and trade skill goods and turning them in for tons and tons of rep and azerite. And after a certain threshold is met, sides will switch. Now it will be the Horde who will assault Stromgarde and the evil, nasty Alliance people. And the Alliance are going to gather their own mess of stuff. So I can't wait for the salt to rain down upon us. Horde players are going to be like,
damn those Alliance dogs, they're able to get that gear and world boss stuff faster than us.
Alliance are going to be like,
damn those Horde punk bitches, they're able to get their Heart of Azeroth level so freaking high, unlike us.
So it'll be fun looking at forums, looking at people trying to represent their faction and otherwise the entire player base and insist that their thoughts represent all of us. Speaking of world bosses, general world bosses are going to open up either on Kulturas or Zandalar, or both. We don't exactly know how it works, or at least I wasn't able to figure it out. But regardless of who's holding on to the Warfront at the time, there will be an expected world boss to kill and take out for hopefully a weapon. Actually, I think off the top of my head, no. The world bosses don't drop weapons. Son of a bitch. And then of course, the normal and heroic version of Uldir. The first raid of Battle for Azeroth is gonna open up. It's the first troll raid since I believe the Throne of Thunder back in Mist of Pandaria. Do you miss it? Are you looking forward to it? Is the gear even remotely attractive to you? So there is a lot to look forward to next week, although of course by the end of the week I'd say like more than half of the vocal players in WoW, they're going to be complaining that there's absolutely nothing to do. Literally. Which lets me segue at least briefly to this topic of waiting. Whether you think it's asinine or not, there's been a lot of talk about all the time gating, or as they call it, or the waiting for things to happen, or the grind. That this expansion is as alt-unfriendly as ever, that, oh gosh, we have to do all these darn world quests to get this rep, and if we don't, oh my god, then our Heart of Azeroth neck level, it's gonna be so weak. Gosh, we have to grind these reps and daily quests forever, And there is no taking away that feeling of dissatisfaction. That's not what I'm questioning. What I do question, though, is the perspective. And I think to myself, is that all you got? Really? Because, check it. All right. Oh, wait. Int plate? More freaking int plate? Great. You know what? Screw it. I'm a healer now, okay? Are you for real? You saw that I was working on my warlock pretty much the entire time, and now I'm finally able to get to Black Temple, and now you're telling me to switch to my hunter? Oh, so you're just gonna poach another hunter who's already attuned for Black Temple. Okay, fine, you know, forget it. Okay, so a fire mage. Ooh, they look really cool, but okay, I need that legendary and that one. And I need to do what to get them? You know what, screw it. I'm just gonna try this other class instead. Let's see, what's my artifact level at? 7. Great. Okay. Nice. I do have like a 341 item level, but my neck is like really low. Oh, you don't give a shit? Okay. Let's go. I'm willing to make the argument, and I'll stand my ground that when it comes to grinding for the Heart of Azeroth to be at a certain item level because of the certain reputation breakpoints that allow for a nice bump in its power, it's not nice enough for me to stress over. Between the ability for your primary stats to change whenever you change specs, not having to count on something as unreliable as legendary RNG in order to make your spec feel relatively viable, not having to worry about getting into that raid because you need that certain item from that certain other raid, and because you need to get to that other raid you need to have a farmed certain number of heroics, but you don't even have the heroic key yet. It's complicated. The point is, at least in my opinion, it's not that bad, folks. Yeah, having to farm normals and daily quests just so I can get that heroic key? Yeah, screw that. Smosh, the creators of the Honest Trailer and Honest Game Trailer series, finally released their version of the Honest Game Trailer for the Battle for Azeroth. It's worth taking a look, and I'm going to provide a link for it down below. But after looking at it, I gotta think to myself, it seems forced. This isn't a review, and I don't mean to nitpick, but I don't know. Despite calling it an honest game trailer, it feels like it was something that was just kind of sanctioned and maybe co-written by Blizzard. It felt like one part commercial, but it felt a little bit heavy-handed in the way that it was poking fun at the game too. A couple of weeks ago, and actually before the start of the expansion, I released my own version of an honest game trailer. Feel free to take a look at that one too and make your own comparisons and conclusions. Yes, I am definitely self-promoting. Oh well. A Kickstarter opened up for the World of Warcraft Diary, a book written by John Statt, who happens to be WoW's first 3D level designer. This Kickstarter opened up just the other day, and it already smashed its goal of 10,000, and at least currently, it's at approximately $225,000 with nearly 3,100 backers, including me. I'm pretty confident about this one. The World of Warcraft Diary is what it is. It's a diary or a chronicle of the development process of early World of Warcraft. It's a book for readers that are interested in game development and otherwise the history of World of Warcraft from a game development perspective. There will be pictures here and there, but largely it's all about the anecdotes from John Statt himself and other folks that he had interviewed for the purpose of creating this book. I am super stoked about reading this book, and at least according to the estimated delivery, I might not be able to get my hands on this thing until around October or so, which, well, that's not very far off. Of course, for those of you who aren't interested in backing this, you can pretty much trust that someone among us is going to either give a bunch of bullet points about what goes on in this book and some of the little details, or someone is going to give an unsanctioned audio read of the entire thing. So be on the lookout for that. It should be interesting. The final thing to talk about this week is a very interesting subject that has been brought up, and it includes trolling, it includes grinding for rep, it includes new content, and it includes exploits and hacks and Blizzard. Earlier this week, players began to unlock allied races. The Dark Iron Dwarves and Mag'har Orcs are now available and playable. Blizzard acknowledged that there was some sort of exploit going on that allowed, well, without going into too much detail, they were allowed to exploit world quests in such a way that they were able to farm for rep very quickly, as well as duplicate items and other such things to wreck the economy, and, well, skipping over to the actual subject at hand, to unlock allied races a little bit early. But this subject is especially intriguing, so let me get to kind of the rough timeline of the events that happened this week. First though, we need to go back just a little bit further. On August 24th, 2018, WoW had released a video that detailed the Dark Iron Dwarf unlock scenario. The footage used for this video happens to come from what is supposedly a Korean client, or at the very least someone who happens to be in the Korean region at the time. You can kinda tell this because this video was posted on the 24th, and yet on the footage you can see that in the calendar the date says the 25th, which might just mean there's a time zone difference. And then the next day, on August 25th, the Mag'har Orc unlock scenario was released by Wowhead, presumably by the same person, on the same time zone, on what might have been a faction transferred tune, because we still see that it is the 25th on that footage. This doesn't sum up to much. I'm just kind of pointing this out to provide a kind of base, a kind of control that around August 24th, 25th, someone was able to unlock both of these allied races. And I'm going to presume that this is legitimate. And to also point out, this is more than likely live realms. For example, you don't see anything like a test button, you don't see anything about feedback, and at least when I looked at the footage, when you're turning in quests, it doesn't have that offer for feedback there either. So on August 27th, on a forum that is well known for World of Warcraft hacks and exploits and that sort of thing, a certain user made a post containing images of their reputation bars being totally filled up. In this post, the person explained the details of how to perform this exploit and later answered questions. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this, on that same day, that's when the blue post was made explaining, yes, that we have found details about an exploit and we would be doling out punishments that are appropriate to this exploit. The forums across the WoW landscape were on fire over this thing. Even streamers like Asmongold were encouraging their viewers to not talk about this exploit because they didn't want to get themselves or anyone else in trouble. And then of course, the salt and the reactions. Oh my god, I was banned. Oh, I heard that there was like a 2-day ban, a 3-day ban, a permanent ban. The next day, on August 28th, the person who made the original post explaining the exploit said that, hey, you know what? Gotcha. Y'all got trolled. This is a hoax. The OP and others who agreed with him pointed out that no one really posted screenshots or videos or anything like that on how to perform this exploit. That there was no proof, just hearsay that this exploit was real. And this person called out Blizzard, calling them foolish for falling for such a troll and threatening to ban people for a exploit or a bug that didn't exist. And at least for now, the story ends there, but there are several interesting takeaways from this. First and foremost, is this exploit even real? And in my opinion, who cares if it's real or not? Exploits are bad. You shouldn't take advantage of them. And if you do, whatever ban you get, you definitely deserve it. Was Blizzard, or at least the person who created the post that addressed this bug and said that they were going to do something about it, were they premature with their statement? My personal opinion is that, once again, it doesn't matter. Whether Blizzard was mistaken or had the wrong information or was premature or straight up lied about the statement that they made, that they were going to punish people for this exploit that may or may not exist, Blizzard is shielded by the fact that they don't need to prove whether or not this thing was real. They can really say whatever they want. Of course, it would be irresponsible for Blizzard to just make stuff like that up. I mean, they shouldn't really run the company with false fears. But as much as I might get some blowback from you folks at home and on the toilet about kind of defending Blizzard and saying that it's okay for them to have made this mistake, that they don't really even deserve a slap on the wrist for this, it's because, again, they don't really talk about the details of what goes on with these exploits and what they do about it exactly, or the punishments that they give out on a per individual basis. The burden of proof, I would say, is on part of that original poster of the exploit, but even then, I'm pretty sure that if they were willing to do something like this, they don't give a damn about giving actual proof. This person did assert that the images that were provided were just doctored, and they could be easily doctored. What I find the most cringeworthy about this hoaxer or exploiter or whatever you want to call this guy is that now he's trying to preach as if he's trying to teach us all a lesson about how Blizzard or the government lies to us and how we're deceived by misinformation. My biggest takeaway from this exploiter or hoaxer, or whatever you want to call this guy, and I'm gonna call him a guy, is that there are people on the internet that are mischievous, that are trolls, that are assholes, and the motivation behind them isn't to teach us a lesson. It's not to act righteous or to point out a vulnerability in the system. It's because they're assholes and they want to cause a little bit of chaos, to waste the resources of others by crying wolf, basically. And this person is more than free to laugh at the fact that I'm talking about him, and he or she can laugh all they want. I just feel sorry for you that this is your source of entertainment. And with that, that's going to wrap up the show for the day, and I'm glad you made it to the end. I hope all of you have had a good week. Please share your thoughts and just tell me how your week was, whether it was good or bad, either in the World of Warcraft or in the real life fleshy world. Share that in a comment below, and share your thoughts and feedback too. Was I satisfactory today? Don't forget to enter that contest if you want to get a chance to buy my BlizzCon tickets, and support me either by liking this video, subscribing to this channel, following me on social media, being a patron, or all sorts of other things. Also, I can give you more of this and all things Warcraft. There's a lot to look forward to next week when I give my guild's reactions to Uldir, the first raid in battle for Azeroth, as well as some other cool topics including death and who is the boss of One Samdi. I might have the answer and I'll be sharing it with you all next week, so I will see you then. You all have a good one. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.